can start out with just some general AP information, and then we'll dive into what to expect this year for AP exams. So the first thing I want to say is talk about 3 reasons to take AP classes. And those reasons are to earn college credit. So you can save time and money by skipping introductory classes that you would have otherwise had to have taken by earning credit through your AP classes. Also prepare for college, and I honestly think that's probably one of the most important pieces, because sometimes going from high school to college, it can be challenging. Is that the word I'm looking for? Maybe. Yeah, so I mean, I think that taking classes, AP classes, just really does prepare you for college. And here's a little bit of information I have about that. So no matter your score, research shows that preparing for and taking your AP exams sharpens the skills needed to transition from high school to college. And then the last one, stand out to colleges. And it's more than just colleges, it's also scholarship programs. So if you are a senior now, or maybe you're going to be a senior next year, or maybe that's a few years off still, scholarships there. I remember my oldest daughter, Allie, her senior year, there were a lot of scholarships at her high school that like only 1 or 2 people applied for. And if you apply to one of those scholarships and say, hey, look at all these AP classes I took, I bet you that'll help your odds, especially if it's one of those ones that not many people apply to. Although there are a lot of scholarships that a lot of people apply to. But let me give you a little bit of information about that. So taking an AP exam helps you stand out to colleges, universities, scholarship programs. And the reason why is it shows them you're willing to work hard to complete college level work. And that's what AP classes are. They are college level work. And that's why you can get credit for them. Okay, so I have a couple things before we talk about how the exams are going to work to talk about. So just a few testimonials. I'm just keeping it short and sweet on the testimonials this time. I know if you've had or attended one of these sessions before, maybe you've had a student that's been with me before. You probably heard me talk about my daughter before, but she took a bunch of AP classes in high school, and she really wanted to go to Cal Poly, and she got in. And I really do think it was the AP classes that got her there. I have a list here. So she took AP European History, AP US History, AP Physics, AP Calculus AB, and she didn't finish AP Calculus AB. She had a tough time with that class, but she still got into Cal Poly, even though she didn't finish one of them. And I do think it's because she took so many of these AP classes. Her quote that she wanted to pass along is, taking AP classes in high school gives you the opportunity to understand a topic more in depth than a regular high school class allows. And AP classes are a more similar experience to college classes, which allows you to find what learning strategies work for you in a lower stakes environment. And then her friend put on there, the pace of an AP class better prepares students for a college course in comparison to a course of the same subject at a standard high school level. AP tests are also similar to college exams, so they prepare students in that way. So those are 2 quotes from students now at Cal Poly down in San Luis Obispo in California who took AP classes in high school and it worked out well for them. I will say, so that my daughter, you can see me and my daughter in that picture, what I will say is that even taking those AP classes, my daughter had a hard time that first year in college. She struggled with some classes. She really did, because she went from like being, doing fairly well in high school to being like at a school where everybody had done well in high school, right? She struggled her first year in college. And I was worried. I was like, oh gosh, is she going to be able to stay there? Is this going to work out? Well, it did, because she's actually graduating early. She's going to be walking. This is only her 3rd year in college, and she's graduating this year. So they really do prepare you for college. Even if you struggle that first year, you can still be set up good. She was set up good because she had so many credits that she had already earned through high school. That's why she's able to graduate early. So anyway, all right. A little bit of testimonials. That's why I think it's a good idea to take AP classes for all those reasons. But also one other reason too is that it just challenges yourself. And I just want to applaud everybody here. These are my fireworks. I know I'm a little bit cheesy from time to time, but wait, you can't see them. They're behind my background. You can't see them. You could see the balloons before when I accidentally did those, but I guess the fireworks. I just wanted to say good work taking these AP classes. They are harder. You have challenged yourself, and you really should give yourself a pat on the back for taking these classes. I do want to start transitioning now from just talking about general AP information to talking about what to expect. Just 2 weeks from now, we're going to start. We'll have our first test. So I've got a little video. This video is short. I think it's less than a minute, and it gives some pro tips for preparing for these exams. So we'll watch it real quick. I'll give some more information. Then we'll get down to like the testing schedule, and we'll talk about that. But here is the video.
Get ready for your AP exam with these 4 tips. First tip, watch AP Daily videos. Review key concepts and save time by watching these short videos taught by expert AP teachers. Second tip, check out the AP Daily live review sessions from last year. They're available now on AP Classroom. Third tip, AP Daily live videos can be viewed with closed captioning. Search words, scan, and get the information you're looking for quickly. Fourth and final tip, know what to expect before test day by visiting the AP Courses and Exams page. Find your course. Once on your course page, toggle to the About the Exam tab on the right to review exam details. Scroll down to the exam preparation section and download free response questions and scoring guidelines from previous exams. Good luck with your AP exam. Log into AP Classroom to start preparing.
All right. So like I said, short video, but 4 pretty good tips. Also, I will send this presentation out later. Anyway, so those are some tips. And I think one of the best is to take advantage of those AP daily practice sessions. So they have basically a YouTube channel, and you can also access them through AP Classroom. And those videos will really help you with the exams that you're taking. I'm going to click on the YouTube link so you can see what it looks like. So basically here is the YouTube page. And like, let's say you're in English and you're taking English language. They have all the videos. They're right here. You can just click play all, or you can click on it.
Welcome to AP Daily Practice Sessions. My name is John Zania. I teach AP Language at Chelsea High School in Chelsea, Michigan.
And there you go. You can see you can get videos that are going to prepare you. So it looks like this video is all about reading questions, and this teacher's going to go over them. It looks like, what else do they have? MCQ, they have free response questions. So how many videos are in the series? 33, but look, they're not super lengthy, 10 minutes, 13 minutes. So, I mean, if this is a good idea to go through and just look at these videos for whichever class it is that you're in, and just get yourself ready for the test. And of course, as was mentioned also in the video, the 4 tips was go into AP Classroom and clicking on the exam. I'll show you that real quick here too. So if I click on AP Classroom, let's go here, courses and exams. Let's pick a different one. How about this time we do Calculus AB. I know we've got some Calculus AB test takers here, so let's click on it. This will take me into the class, and you can see here when you're in the class, you've got the course audit, classroom resources, and then right here, the exam. And if you click on the exam, they have, you can download a sample free response booklet. What else do they have? AP Calculus AB exam description, a student page with some information, and you can see the exam format, so you'll know exactly what you're getting into for like this exam. The first section has 45 questions. You get an hour and 45 minutes for that, and that's 50% of the exam score. Part A has 30 questions, 60 minutes, where calculator is not permitted. And then part B, 15 questions. You get 45 minutes. Graphing calculator will be needed for that. And it goes over what those questions are going to be on. And then the second free response portion, it tells you 6 questions, an hour and 30 minutes. That's also 50% of the exam. And it tells you that you'll have 2 questions that you'll do 30 minutes where you need a graphing calculator, and then 4 questions with an hour at which you won't be allowed to have a calculator. So it just really breaks down what to expect when you're going in there and taking the test. And then, you can look at the downloads and all that information too. So hopefully that's helpful to know that information is out there. I highly encourage you to go out there and watch some daily practice videos and check on the exam information for your specific exam. Okay, so before the exam, some things you need to do. One is you need to review the AP exam terms and conditions, because when you come in to take the exams or to take whatever exam you're taking, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to mark that you've read those. So I have a link in this presentation. Like I said, I'll send it out. It'll take you right to those. You can take a look at the terms and conditions. And like I said, that's your first step when you come in to take the exams, is to acknowledge that. Other than that, before your exam, make sure to get a good night's sleep. You don't want to come into the exam tired. So, put your your devices, electronic devices, away. I think they say put those away like is it an hour, 45 minutes before you're gonna go to bed, so you don't have, that your brain can start the process of going to sleep. But yeah, make sure you get a good night's sleep. Eat a good healthy breakfast. That's also going to help you on exam day. Double check the day and time of your exam. I'll be sending out reminders, and we're going to go over those dates and times here in a little bit too. Get there at least 15 minutes early. It does, I mean, we've transitioned now to digital exams and digital hybrid. So the digital exams are on the computer. You will need to bring your school issued Chromebook for that. We'll talk about that also in a little bit. But the hybrid exams are partially on the computer, partially on paper. And so I don't think it's going to take as long as it did in the past. In the past, they don't allow pre-bubbling on the exam, so it would be like it would take a while to like just go through, like get all your information down, all that stuff. But we're going to be able to get through that a little bit more quickly. But still, you want to get there 15 minutes early, because as soon as everybody's there and we're ready, we can get going. And the exams do take a while. And also relax, just relax. And here's what I'll say. It's a test. There's no need to overly stress about it. I do have a little bit of more information to just hopefully, like if you're feeling anxious, to calm you down a little bit. So here is that information. Research shows that students who take AP scores, or sorry, AP scores, AP courses, that's what I meant to say, and exams have better college outcomes than their peers. Whatever your score, taking an AP exam can keep you on track for college. So it says the majority of students who score a 1 or a 2 on their first AP exam are likely to improve their score in a future exam. Students who achieve an exam score of 2 do significantly better in introductory classes in college. And it says students who achieve exam scores of 1 or 2 are still more likely to attend college and graduate on time than academically similar students who don't take AP exams. So if you think about that, it's a 5-point scale on these exams. So obviously five is your highest score. 4 is a pretty good score. 3, there is a tool where you can look up to see what score colleges accept to give you credit. Usually it's a 3 or above. But even if you still get a 1 or a 2, the research shows you're still more prepared for college, and you're still probably going to do better in college than students who didn't take AP. So anyway, that's why I say just relax. It's a test, do your best, and that's all you can do. What to bring on exam day. So you're going to need a photo ID, just because I don't get a chance to see everybody. Of course, I mean, I can look you up in the system if I have to, but it's so much easier if you just got a photo ID with your name on it. No mechanical pencils. So it's number 2 pencils, right? We don't know, mechanical pencils won't work. And of course, you only need that if you're taking a hybrid exam. If it's digital, I'd still bring it just in case, because I do put paper for you to like scratch paper to use. So, I mean, a number 2 pencil, that way you can erase. And if you do take an exam that is hybrid, you need a number 2 pencil. Blue or black ink pens. If you're taking one of those hybrid exams and you're writing, it's got to be in blue or black ink. Calculator. If you're taking a math test, bring a calculator. And when I send this out where it says calculator, it's linked to the policy and which calculators you can bring. So we'll also have some backups in case you need them. But if you have a calculator you like, bring it. Snack and a water bottle. You can't necessarily have the snack during the test, but we do have a 10-minute break between sections, usually in the middle. So yeah, like bring snacks, bring a water bottle. Those are all good ideas. Clear bag, that's the best, to just have it so we can see it. And I do put dress and layers there. I have no idea what the weather's going to be like. And all the tests are going to be at flex. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. Flex. So if you layer up, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're too hot, you can just take off like a sweatshirt, or you can put it on if um, the other way around. So anyway, you can kind of see the image there. That's what I would, think would be good to bring to one of these exams. Let's see here. Bring your Chromebook. So definitely bring your Chromebook and charger. Last year when we did AP exams, I just had Chromebooks there for people to use. But I think it's going to work so much better if you bring your own Chromebooks. I will have some backups just in case. But sometimes, for whatever reason, like logging into a new Chromebook, sometimes it doesn't work. So I think it's best bring your Chromebook and your charger. That way, if it's running low, we can plug it in. So like I said before, every exam this year is either fully digital or it's hybrid. So there's some digital component. So you will need a Chromebook. And to take this test, it has to be a school issued Chromebook. So you can't bring any of your personal computers or laptops. It's got to be a school issued Chromebook. So that would be if you don't use your school Chromebook very often, I would practice using it just because that's what you're going to be using on exam day. And yeah, make sure it's fully charged when you come in so you don't have to worry about it. You still want your charger just in case. Does anybody have any questions about this piece? Leave these items at home. The main thing is like, you don't bring your phone. It's just going to be a temptation. Smartwatches like I'm wearing here, you can't have those during the test. The backpack I'm not as concerned about, but it's just one more piece that like maybe you don't need. If you just brought all the stuff you need in like a clear plastic bag, that might be the best. Books, you can't have books in there either. So yeah, no books or notes, no backpacks, watches, phones, headphones. You can't have headphones of any type or other electronic devices. A backpack, like I said, we can hold that for you. We'll have a spot, but maybe it's just easy to just leave it. Well, I guess you're bringing a Chromebook. I mean, if you want to bring your backpack, I'm not super concerned about it, but we probably will leave it outside the testing environment, up at the front desk at Flex. That way, like if you have something in there that like a phone that rings or something, it won't disrupt the test.
So are there some
Oh,
practice
there we
tests
go.
they can do on the Chromebook before the exam? When
Yeah, so there, I'll show you here one of my next slides coming up in not too long. They can go to the Blue Book app already, and they have like practice tests on there that they can like play around with just to see what the testing environment's going to be like. And so that's why I would say, they can get used to it. So if a phone, like our communication device, is used even during the break, so we have a break and you still can't use your phone, your test will be canceled. So like if you can't use your phone, and it could, like if you're on it in the testing environment, it could possibly cancel the scores for everyone. So you really don't want to bring a phone. There's that piece of information. Okay, so during the exam, let's see here, everything's timed, right? So make sure to pace yourself. I remember way back when I was becoming a teacher and I was taking an English test, and there was, for whatever reason, I didn't pace myself correctly or fast enough, because there was a lot of reading passages and I was spending time to make sure I read them all. And then all of a sudden I realized that I was running out of time when the proctor said, "Oh, there's such and such time left." And that's a stressful situation to be in. So you don't want to be in that kind of situation. Make sure you're pacing yourself throughout these exams. We do have a 10-minute break, usually there's two sections on the test, and it'll be between those two. It's not always exactly in the middle, but it's pretty close to it. And here's the other thing. You can't leave early. So even if you finish the test early at the end, you got to stay in the session. And so that's why in the past, some students have been like, well, I just want to bring a book to read, but you can't bring a book either because they're not permitted in the testing location. So you just kind of have to wait there. And I will say this, usually the tests are timed fairly well, so you probably aren't going to have a lot of time at the end, but you do have to wait till the end. If you have accommodations for like extended time on anything, it does actually this year they do allow you to move on to the next session though. If you're finished, there is at least that change. Okay, so that's the exam. Let's see here after the exam. So your scores for AP exams that come out in July, you get to send a free score report to the school or scholarship organization of your choice. And you just have to do that before June 20th. And when I send this out, there's links to where you find all that information there. And also, if you don't receive the score you're hoping for, don't be discouraged. I already talked about that research, but I'll say one more time. Research shows that many students who don't earn a qualifying score on an AP exam go on to higher scores in the future. So, yeah, it's even if you don't do well, everything's going to be fine. And if you do well, I would give you fireworks, but as we saw before, they're stuck behind my my background. Okay, so I want to talk about the Flex AP exam schedule next, and then I got a little bit more information to cover about the Chromebooks. If you're in computer science principles, April 30th at 8:59 p.m. is when you have to have your work sample submitted, or sorry, your digital portfolio. That's what it's called. So just make sure you get that in because that's got to be put in before you come into test. First week of testing, we've got AP Biology. That'll be on Monday, May 5th, 8 a.m. And we're going to try and start all these tests right on time. So try and, like I said, be there maybe 15 minutes early. Then on Tuesday, we've got Human Geography and US Government at noon. So Human Geography will be at 8 a.m. And again, all of these tests are going to be at the Flex campus, the Capitol Center, off of 185th and Walker. So if you haven't been to Flex, I will send this information out. I'll have like our address, but that's where everything's going to be at. Wednesday, we'll have English literature Wednesday morning, and then statistics. That's going to be Thursday, May 8th, again in the morning. So that is week one of our AP tests. Week two, we've got Calculus AB. That'll be Monday, May 12th, 8 a.m. again at Flex. Tuesday, May 13th, we got pre-calculus. And Wednesday, we've got English language. And you can see I've also got the durations for these tests on there. And some of them are kind of long, right? 3 hours, 15 minutes. That ET stands for extra time. So if you have those approved accommodations, it could be a really long day for you. So that is Wednesday. Let's look at Thursday, the second week of testing. That's May 15th. We got computer science principles in the afternoon. And then Friday, May 16th, we have psychology, and that is our biggest group of testing students. We will have 15 students. So most of our testing sessions are fairly small through Flex. So you can see like some of these testing sessions, there's like 6 students, 4 students, 2 students. Psychology, though, has 15 students, so that'll be a big one. And that'll be Friday, May 16th. Now, I do have a few students also taking some late tests because there was some conflicts with the schedule. And so I've got AP Chemistry. That's on Wednesday, May 21st. And that is again at Flex. It's at noon. And then the last day of late testing is Friday, May 23rd, Computer Science Principles. Yeah, that'll be at Flex at noon. That's our testing schedule. And again, I will send this out to everybody so you'll see it. I'll send reminders out before, like the day before the test. Maybe I should do it 2 days before. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll think about that just to remind you when your test is, what you need to bring, and where you need to go. Okay, so that's the testing schedule. Okay, now this, I don't know. So for students, and I don't know if you're on your Chromebook, so maybe you can't get it out. But you do, like if you go to your Chromebook, and if you can't do this now, you can always do it after the session. But you can go to myap.collegeboard.org and you can sign in, go to your homepage. And from there, you can see like your tests, make sure everything's looking good in the system. So I will move on to the next page here real quick. What you can do is you can check on your homepage, you can check and see all your courses that you joined this year. Under each exam, you'll see your registration status, and a testing date. And again, all exams are at Flex Online. Even though they're digital, they're in person at Flex Online. And you can click on each individual course. And I already showed this. Go to the exam and you can see all the details about the exam. So that's what you can check on in College Board. Now, what you can do in Blue Book, so this is the app that we're going to use on the Chromebooks, right? And for those of you who are students and have your Chromebooks, if you go to Blue Book, if I can pronounce that, so basically how you get there, the whole thing is you don't sign in to your computer. So like if you're using it right now, you wouldn't be able to go to it because you have to log out. And so basically before you sign in, okay, so yeah, go there, just do this before you come in to practice, and make sure you can get to it. Because last year, for whatever reason, when we had students come in for it, because we did a couple digital tests last year, and sometimes students had a difficult time getting in. So that's why I think it's important to practice. And anyway, so what you do is you don't want to be signed into your computer. Before you ever sign in, you go to the bottom bar on your Chromebook and you go to apps at the bottom. It's on the left side of the screen. And when you click on apps, Blue Book should be one of those apps. And from there, you have to sign in with your College Board credentials. Now, this is where we ran into issues last year with our digital exams, is some students didn't remember their College Board login information. So on the next slide, I'm going to talk about that. So hopefully we'll get around that. But anyway, so you should see your exams listed. You should see your registration is complete. And then, like I said, they have like practice tests. You can see what the testing environment is like, so you can practice on it. But the most important piece is knowing your College Board login credentials. So sometimes those are just saved on your computer and you don't know them. So that's why on the next page, what I'm telling students to do is, I know that you're always told, don't write down your passwords, and that is very valid. But that being said, it might be a good idea to bring a piece of paper or a note card with this information. So your name on it, your exams in order, that would be good to write down. School code, well, I'll have the school code. You don't need to worry about that. It's already on there. Your AP ID, your date of birth, you probably know that, but just in case, grade, right? Your login email to get into College Board, and your password, or just put a hint. Maybe just put a hint. And now, obviously, if you use one of those super strong passwords, I don't know. You'll have to think about it. But the trick is you have to log in to the Blue Book app. And that's where we ran into a lot of issues last year. And you don't want to be stressed out when you're coming into taking a test because you can't figure out your login information. So that's just about everything I had to cover. But like I said, please bring this information if you can. It can only help you. I don't think it can hurt you on the test, having that with you. Okay, so it's some additional resources. So let's see here. I have this Flex AP exam day guide. If you click on this link when I send this slideshow out, you'll see all kinds of information. I've got our address there, my email if you need it, all the information you need about what to bring, what not to bring, test schedule. So I'll be sending this out too. What else? I have here some things that might be helpful. I've got some videos, 9 best scientific study tips. If you click on that, there's a video that gives you some good study tips. There's also a video about passive versus active studying, guided meditation if you're feeling a little bit stressed, maybe that'll help you out. And 10% Happier podcast if again, you're feeling a little bit stressed and you need something to just calm those nerves, that will help you as well. So those are some additional resources. And lastly, I made it through everything I wanted to talk about. So the last thing I want to say is, how are you feeling now? Did this help? I hope it did. Are you feeling a little bit better than before you came? Also, last minute questions. Anything I didn't get to that you had asked before? Any new questions? Let me know. And questions, yeah, that's where we will end it. And I can stop the recording too. Just let me know what questions you may have. And